wasn't the type of game we had everybody envisioned on senior day. But with that said, so proud of the effort by our seniors to be able to recognize them before the game and have that type of ovation for Rachel Koneski, Leah Bolton, Abby Siefker, and Ashley Tunstall. It says a lot. I think our fans have gotten to know them over the years. More so Rachel and Abby because they're 4-year kids. Leah, they haven't gotten to see her on the court. They've known her off the court, and Ashley's only been here 2 years, but really proud of the effort that they gave today. And even though Leah cannot play, she's a big part of this program and will always be. But first of all, I've got to thank the 4 of them, their families, for the commitment that they've made throughout their career at Bowling Green to come here. And they've just made an impact on everyone in this program. And I think everybody in that community, and I could talk for days about each one of them individually and collectively, but they will be outstanding role models, they'll be outstanding citizens, and they'll be outstanding representatives as BGSU alums. So with that said, secondly, credit Miami. I think that's probably the best game they've played all year. They shot the ball extremely well. Leah Purvis got them going with some early 3-pointers made. We tried a handful of things defensively. But we were unable to contain them off the bounce and contest some of their kids at the arc. So with that said, we've upset Buffalo on their senior day. Now we get upset on our senior day. Senior day is always lots of emotions as well. But the hole that we fell into early challenged them at halftime to respond, and they did. They outscored by 10, and we made a run and had a chance to cut it even more. But I thought Miami did a great job of making foul shots down the stretch where we could never close it to single digits. But with that said, again, proud of the effort in the second half. They could have got knocked down, and they didn't. They got up, and it talks a lot about their resiliency as a group and who we have on this team. But again, challenge them at halftime and try to push them to come out that way they did in the second half, and they responded. So with that said, it could have been a different type of game, but they responded positively, and we were able to play better in the second half, bottom line.
If you would, talk a little bit about the defense in the second quarter. I think you touched on a little bit. Their 3-point shooting opened everything up for them in the second quarter. I think they missed their first shot and hit 8 in a row or something like that. It was.
They shot 82% in the second quarter. Everything they shot went in. So we changed things up as fast as we could, try and mix and matched some things, but as soon as they let it go, you knew it was going in, and that's the big turning point was that second quarter. If we could replay that, I would, but unfortunately we can't. But credit them. They made shots, and I thought our pressure was effective, especially in that first quarter. It was really had an early lead. It was back and forth, but when we became stagnated and only scored 9 points in the second half, we weren't able to jump in our press. We went in some full court man right there at the end with some things, but again, they did a good job of getting to the foul line, especially this year.
And to make matters worse from your perspective as well, they're making everything. You guys are struggling to make shots. How much of that did you think was a factor of, well, we need to score to keep up with them, and the pressure of trying to match them as opposed to just
I don't know if it was a pressure to match them, but it was the energy and momentum was on their side. And when we called timeouts, we didn't have that energy or the juice on our bench to get stops and to get scores. And not because we couldn't, but they were making shots. Miami was, and again, everything they put up, they did. So like I said, we talked at halftime and challenged them in a way to respond to the second half, but in a way of, hey, we can talk about where we're going for the next round game, or we can talk about, hey, let's stop talking about the next round game and let's do the same thing they just did to us in the second half. So if that game's another 8 minutes, 5 minutes, something, it's, I think, even closer and things get tighter. But again, credit them. They took it to us in the first half, but I was proud of the effort of our kids responding in the second half.
And I was going to ask you about the press in the second half, but I think you already hit on the problem. It's easier to apply the press after a make than it is a miss, and you didn't, in the second quarter, you just couldn't get enough makes to get it rolling.
No, I mean, we shoot 50% in the second half, but it was a little bit too little, too late. But again, I thought Rachel Kay, Ashley, Abby, obviously Leah's not playing, but the three of them gave everything they had today. I think that's a career high for Ashley as well, and that was the type of effort. I knew they were going to focus on her because I thought she and Abby did a great job that first game, getting a lot of inside buckets when we were in Oxford and keeping the ball alive for us at the offensive rebound end, but also got some big defensive rebounds. But the two of them combined for 11 to 21 inside, and you can't ask for anything more than the effort they gave us today.
Could you talk a little bit more about Ashley's development in her time in this program? I mean, and especially if you would, you kind of challenged her a little bit, despite her size, having her as a four and not only guarding people that are bigger than her, but also running offense, a lot of offense through her against people who are also bigger than her.
Ashley, when she came here out of Owens, I think she questioned whether or not she could play at this level, but we knew right away that she could, and we challenged her to extend her range. We challenged her to, hey, you ran the handful of plays at Owens, like, we're going to expand your playbook, okay? And we're going to do X, Y, Z, more things than what you did. And she responded. She responded positively to that. As you can see, like, she gave everything she had. And you're right, John, she is undersized in every game, okay? She is at both ends. She's either scoring over a bigger person. Sometimes we put her on someone else who may be quicker than she is, and she responds. She's going to step up to the challenge. But that's a kid who didn't get a chance to play her senior year of high school due to an OHSAA rule, and now was recruited, but goes to Owens, and really fortunate to have her here because her game could grow here, and it did. I mean, as you can tell, like, she was 2 of 3 at the arc today, 2 of 2 at the foul line. When we needed her, I mean, she stepped up. But with that said, I mean, she's got a great symbiosis with other post players that she plays with other guards that she plays with, and that's a big deal. And sometimes that's hard when you transfer in, is fitting in, and that's never been a question that she's that kid where you would never know that she wasn't here for 4 years. So with that said, I wish I could give her back her one more year of senior ball in high school, and wish you could have her even longer, because she's a kid in that locker room that she makes everybody smile. And again, with her and that rest of the class, though, they have brought a lot to this program, and just can't thank all 4 of them enough with that said.
And one other question about Ashley is just, you touched on it for a moment, but would you also talk about effort? Sometimes, coaches have to coach effort out of players. She does not strike me as a kid you ever have to coach effort out of.
No, she doesn't. She'll bring it. She's going to bring it in practice, bring it in games as well. So sometimes she can has such a good, what I call kind of a pogo stick, can get up and down and quickly is really bouncy and can grab an offensive rebound. I mean, there's a couple times where I think she's gotten so strong, I feel like gets fouled and can take it, and as opposed to getting some of the calls that she probably should have gotten because she's stronger than some, even though she may be smaller. And she didn't get a couple calls that I thought she typically could get tonight, but that's, you know, due to her strength.
Just Miami's offense, I guess, what was the biggest challenge in the yesterday? Was it just, you know, their ability to shoot from outside and open things up in the middle, or it seemed like they really get to the hoop everyone as well?
Yeah, they had some straight line drives that we changed some things up defensively from the first game to this game, and you know he did as well, you know, and it was tick for tack right there. But they did have some straight line drives to the hoop, and then. Again, I've talked about this before, but you know, sometimes when you just try so hard, you know, you overhelp or you want to get that stop, but then you may get screened and get beat. But with that said, yeah, the X factor for me was just Purvis's points at the arc early on. I mean, that's something where they got her the ball, and she also got to the line. So that's a kid who either makes a three or a layup, and she got both tonight in my opinion, or got fouled going inside, but got to the foul line.